Hey, welcome to my channel, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Tonight we begin with breaking news from the Asia Pacific. Chinese Coast Guard rams Philippine supply boat. Vietnam protests new Chinese maritime claims. Malaysia scrambles jets as Chinese bombers near airspace. These are not hypothetical scenarios, they are the reality in the South China Sea. This critical waterway, a global trade artery, is fast becoming a flashpoint. Every day brings a new confrontation, a fresh challenge to international law. The world is watching as the waters of Southeast Asia churn with tension and the risk of conflict. The heart of this storm is the West Philippine Sea, claimed by the Philippines. Filipino fishermen who have sailed these waters for generations now face intimidation from larger Chinese vessels. Philippine Coast Guard ships on patrol find themselves in dangerous standoffs, blocked and hit with water cannons. These are not isolated incidents but part of a deliberate strategy to assert dominance. This isn't just about the Philippines and China. Vietnam and Malaysia face similar challenges. Chinese ships have repeatedly entered Malaysia's exclusive economic zone, testing its resolve. The entire region feels the pressure, each nation grappling with how to defend their territory without triggering wider conflict. The stability of the Indo-Pacific is at stake. These disputes are about sovereignty and the rule of law. Will international waters remain free and open, or be controlled by the strongest power? The answer is being written now. Intense encounters between patrol boats and giant Coast Guard ships. The need for a credible defense has never been more clear. For decades, the Philippines relied on the United States for security, bound by a mutual defense treaty since 1951. This alliance provided safety, but also created deep dependence. The Philippine Navy often waited for assistance, equipment, and political backing from its powerful ally. The fleet was a collection of hand-me-downs, mostly World War II-era ships from the US. These vessels, while storied, were relics, slow, lacking modern sensors, and armed with outdated weapons. They served as patrol craft, but were no match for modern warships in the region. The fleet was often called a floating museum, unable to deter or defend against real threats. Facing modern frigates, these old ships were little more than targets. Brave sailors were sent to sea with inadequate tools, defending vast coastlines with ships older than themselves. This situation was unsustainable as tensions in the West Philippine Sea grew. The need for change became obvious. The Philippines had to move beyond dependence and build a navy for today's challenges. It needed ships that could stand on their own. The era of waiting for help had to end. A new chapter was about to begin. In a historic move, Japan announced the transfer of an Abukuma-Class destroyer escort to the Philippine Navy. This is not another old patrol boat, but a modern, capable warship, armed, fast, and ready for a fight. Confirmed today, August 31, 2025, this marks a pivotal moment. For the first time, the Philippines receives a vessel with true offensive and defensive power. It's a powerful statement of support from one democracy to another. The significance is enormous, a fundamental shift in Southeast Asia's security landscape. Japan's decision is a direct response to growing pressure in the West Philippine Sea. This warship is more than hardware, it's a lifeline and a symbol of a new era of partnership. The relationship between Japan and the Philippines is now elevated to a strategic level. The Abukuma-Class destroyer is a game-changer for the Philippine Navy. It provides capabilities the fleet has only dreamed of. A credible deterrent. A ship that must be respected. This act of strategic foresight by Japan could reshape the South China Sea's dynamics. To understand the Abukuma-Class's importance, look at the Philippine Navy's recent past. For decades, the fleet was defined by its age and constant struggle to keep old ships afloat. But over the last decade, a quiet revolution began. The Philippines launched an ambitious modernization program despite limited budgets. The goal: build a credible defense force to protect national interests. The Navy looked beyond U.S. surplus, seeking new partners and platforms. The first major leap was acquiring Jose Rizal-class frigates from South Korea, modern, missile-capable warships. These ships marked the end of the floating museum era. The Navy learned to operate and maintain complex systems, laying the groundwork for more. The Abukuma-class from Japan builds on this momentum, adding higher capability and sophistication. The Jose Rizal-class was the first step. The Abukuma-class is the next. Modernization is now a sustained, strategic effort. The Philippines is methodically building a multi-layered defense. The journey from rust to readiness is accelerating. New friendships are enabling a stronger, more capable fleet. What makes the Abukuma-class special? It's a destroyer escort, versatile, lethal, and agile. Built in the late 1980s and upgraded since, it's designed to hunt submarines and destroy surface ships. Its primary weapon, the Harpoon anti-ship missile, with a range over 120 kilometers. This gives the Philippine Navy long-range strike capability for the first time. The ship can engage threats from a safe distance, transforming it into a genuine threat to hostile fleets. It's also a submarine hunter, equipped with advanced sonar, anti-submarine rockets, and lightweight torpedoes. In a region with growing submarine fleets, this is critical. For self-defense, it has a rapid-fire gun and the Phalanx close-in weapon system. This combination makes the Abukuma-Class a balanced, formidable warship. It's a true multi-mission platform, ready for any contingency. The Philippine Navy now has a ship that changes the game. Receiving the Abukuma-Class is just the beginning. Operating it will transform the Philippine Navy. Sailors will need intensive training on Japanese systems from radar to missile launchers. The Navy's tactical playbook will be rewritten, shifting from patrol to deterrence and sea control. The presence of this warship will command new respect in the West Philippine Sea. Adversaries will have to think twice before acting aggressively. The ship's capabilities elevate the risk for any potential aggressor. It will also become a centerpiece for joint exercises with allies like the US, Japan, and Australia. This enhances interoperability and allows for more complex, realistic training. The Abukuma-Class makes the Philippines a more valuable security partner. It strengthens the entire alliance network in the region. The transformation is both technical and psychological. The transfer of the Abukuma-Class destroyer sends a direct message to Beijing. For years, China has used its naval superiority to impose its will in the South China Sea. This warship changes the equation, introducing new risk for Chinese forces. It signals the end of unchallenged dominance. The Abukuma-Class provides asymmetric deterrence. The goal isn't to match China ship for ship, but to make aggression too costly. With Harpoon missiles, a Chinese commander must now consider the risk of losing a valuable warship. This forces more caution and raises the stakes for any aggressive action. China will protest, but this is a defensive move by the Philippines. The message from Japan and the Philippines is one of resistance, not aggression. It's a declaration that bullying will be met with unity. This shift empowers the Philippines and other Southeast Asian nations. It shows they have options beyond protest or submission. A credible deterrent inspires confidence and resolve. The South China Sea dispute is entering a new phase. This transfer is also a major story about Japan. For over 70 years, Japan's constitution limited its military to self-defense. Exporting major military platforms was off the table, until now. Facing a more assertive China, Japan is redefining its regional security role. The decision to provide the Philippines with a destroyer is part of Japan's new official security assistance policy. This allows Japan to provide defense equipment and training to friendly nations. The Philippines is among the first beneficiaries. This marks a historic shift from pacifism to proactive leadership. Japan is using its industrial strength to help partners defend themselves. This complements the US role and strengthens the regional alliance network. Japan is stepping out of its post-war shadow. It's becoming a true power player in Asian security. The arrival of a Japanese destroyer in the Philippines is more than a military transaction. It symbolizes a new era in Asian security, democratic nations working together to protect sovereignty and uphold international law. This partnership is a model for regional cooperation under pressure. Other nations are watching, seeing that credible defense is possible with the help of like-minded partners. This move strengthens not just the Philippines, but all of ASEAN. The message UNCLOS principles are not negotiable. Freedom of navigation and peaceful dispute resolution are pillars of the international system. The Japan-Philippines partnership defends that system. As the Japanese-built warship joins the Philippine fleet, it carries the hopes of a nation and the support of a powerful friend. The balance in the South China Sea is beginning to shift.